everybody, Gina DeLuca here. All right, today I'm going to be using the Arteza ready to pour paints. These are 2-ounce bottles. This is 32 bottles, different bottles there, and they are 2 ounces each. They are ready to pour straight out of the bottle. So we're gonna have some fun with that today. I do love these for ring pours and ribbon pours. They maintain really well when I'm not looking for cells. This is actually really nice. Like I love the finish on these, and the colors maintain their separation really nicely. I'm actually I'm not a fan of ready to pour paints in general. Just the ones that I've tried. Some I haven't liked so much. Some were good, some were really not. And Arteza is one of my favorites, so that's why we're using those. Before we get started, the colors that we'll be using today are Mars Black, Sea Green, Silver, Lavender, and Forest Green. So I'll be doing a spiral type ring pour thingy, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm hoping it kind of looks a little cosmic. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. So that's what I'm going for today. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards, and each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube that gives you all of the information that you need, the exact paint, brands, color, the consistency, the recipe, and of course, the technique of how to do it, all of the stuff that I can't fit on a card. This box here is a picture of the painting in that video. This box contains a tip for that particular technique. And at the bottom here, we have the color palette that was used in this painting. And then these two boxes can be used together as the basis of a 2-color palette, or you can build off of those colors. And there are 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. You can use all of the colors or just some of the colors. And if you mix and match the bonus color palette cards with the technique cards, you have more combinations than you could ever paint in a lifetime. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also at amazon.com. Okay, I'm gonna put some paint in a cup. Whatever I put in the cup first is what's gonna come out last, and that's what's gonna be in the center of my painting, and I would like for that to be silver. So, I'm going to put the silver in a couple of times. I'm not using white, so that is going to take the place of my white. Yes, you can use silver in place of white. Okay, now the forest green. Lavender. And the black, not using a lot of black. It can be very overpowering, but I do like the contrast of the black with the lavender. Doing the silver again. I'm not trying to make it sink so much this time. I'm kind of going for these layers. And let's see. I think some of this dark green, the forest green. Okay, that should do it. If not, I have more paint. Okay, so I will say that after you mix these paints, you know, when you shake the bottle, one tip that I will give you that I did not follow is after you shake or roll your bottle to mix the paint, give it some time to sit so the bubbles can, you know, work their way out. I didn't wait long enough and I had a lot of bubbles in there. So I will probably end up with some cells. The bubbles will create cells. That's okay. So I'm going to kind of just do a spiral. Kind of the idea of a straight pour, spiral straight pour. But I'm going a little, pardon, I'm going a little faster than I normally would. I do want a bit of that ring action kind of feel, but I really want to get some of that spiral in there as well. And I can see I'm terribly off center. So the more times I spin this canvas, the more it will have a ring pour. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I totally misjudged where the end of that cup was. Okay, well, c'est la vie. I'm gonna put a little love on these corners here. No sense in wasting any paint. And I probably could have used a little more paint because I'm not using a base coat. I'm probably just going to tilt this out, honestly. I will have more control if I tilt it than if I spin it at this point because it's already a bit on the off-kilter side of things. It happens. So here's the lesson to take from this. Go in with an intention. Put your paint on the canvas and then work with what it gives you. It's not always going to come out exactly how you want. The colors may not blend the way that you want or separate the way that you want. It may come off to one side like this. So if I wanted to spin this, I wouldn't necessarily be keeping that perfect center that I really want. So I am going to do what I can do to give myself as much control as possible because I am a control freak, as we all know. And I am going to just kind of pour some of this around in a couple of spots just to give it something to slide around on. One thing I will say, Arteza, all paint brands, this is my plea to you. In these kits, please give us more neutral colors, more white, so we can do base coats. I like base coats. Okay, yes, this is blending out to be kind of funky, but I'm going to be tilting over this. I'm getting some cells there. As you can see, it works well for swiping. You get cells swiping this paint. But if you use it for a ring pour, you don't get a lot of cells, which is kind of what I love about it. Okay, do not panic about what is happening on these edges, but I will lift it up to show you If you can see right here where my thumb is, there it's selling. And down here over by this thumb, it's selling. You can get cells with just swipes with this paint, but it works really well for ring pours if you don't want cells. So that is a very cool thing about these paints. So yes, I do have a tendency to prefer to use Floetrol, but sometimes I want different effects. And so if I want something that has a more transparent feel, I will use mix. If I do not want cells, sometimes I will use a pre-mixed paint like Arteza. And I'm getting a little wonky. See, this is why I like using base coats. If you find that, you know, your lines get wonky and you're not using a base coat, that very well could be the problem. The paint does not flow the same. I'm a fan of base coats. Okay. Now I'm going to try to do something with this composition. Because it's not perfectly symmetrical, I do not want my focus in the center. That's me. I'm not saying that that is a rule, but for me, I only want my focus in the center if the piece is symmetrical. Otherwise, I am going to use the rule of thirds. If you don't know what that is, I recommend looking that up. Perhaps I will do a video on that someday. Maybe I'll do that on my Patreon. Oh yeah, hey, I have a Patreon account now. We're having Zooms. They start next week, and there is bonus content and stuff that you won't be seeing here on YouTube. I highly recommend checking that out. It is patreon.com/Gina DeLuca. We're gonna have a lot of fun in there. I think the Zooms are gonna be the most fun. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm gonna let this sit, and I am going to bring you in for a close-up. Back in a few. Okay, here it is. It came out a little wonky, but I actually really like it. It has a lot of depth because of that silver, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to really show you here. But there is like some cool blending going on in there. That silver is really popping. It is very difficult to get that to show up. But I love the lines that are going on in here. That layering. For pre-mix paints, I give this a thumbs up. So far, every time I've used it, thumbs up. You can see the edges hold up nicely. I still have the lines on the edge there, which is one of my biggest complaints with pre-mixed paints, is that the lines don't hold up on the side. It all just kind of blends together. But the Arteza really keeps that line. I'm still dripping over here. I need to do my bottom. To scrape the bottom, the drips off the bottom, to keep it from pulling off of the sides. You might have to come back and do it again, like I do. Okay, well, that is it for me for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if you are subscribed, please make sure you click that bell to receive all of the notifications that when I put up new videos. YouTube changed something and it does not send notifications unless you ask for them. So be sure to do that. Check out the description box below for links to my Patreon. Join us there. There's a Facebook group, there are Zooms, there will be exclusive content. You can find all the details at patreon.com/Gina DeLuca. Also, I will be teaching at the Fluid Art Experience. There will be a little trailer for that at the end that will give you all the information of who else will be teaching in April in Seattle. So just stick around for the end here and you get to see the awesome trailer that the Massey Boys made. Also in the description box, you will find the link to my website, ginadeluca.net, where you can find my art and music and the Fluid Art inspiration cards for sale. And you will also find my affiliate links, Arteza being one of them. So if you want to try these paints out, please do use the link in the description box. You will get a discount if you do so, and I will get a small commission at no additional cost to you. Also, in the description box, you will find the link to our Facebook group. Go make some art. Join us there. Post your masterpieces. Ask your questions. Get some inspiration. A good time is had by most. It is the internet after all. Okay. Well, I think that's it for me for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.